before we start, we're having a few internet issues over here, so if I go quiet or suddenly die, just carry on, and I'll rejoin in a bit.
Do you want me to let you know when you've gone quiet or something?
Yeah, just wave or something when I've gone quiet.
Okay.
Wave like a madman. What is up, interwebnet people online and another Talksontour International? We have David Keenan with us all the way from Sacramento, California, in the good old US of A. How are you, David?
Woo!
I'm doing really good.
You good? Excellent. Yeah, as I said, David comes from California, which is on the US West Coast. So for him, it is about noonish. For us, it's early evening, 8 o'clock. These times are just I don't get time zones. I mean, I nearly said earlier to Michael in the previous chat that he was like, we're going to have it at like 12 o'clock. Is that like 12 o'clock for us, 12 o'clock for him? And I thought, I never told him that, did I? Yeah, there you go. I don't get time. Time is an abstract concept that doesn't exist unless you think about it.
It's all relative.
Don't start me. I'll go all Stephen Hawking on you about time. And
so, David, let's talk about.
So, David, you are known in cosplay circles as Plastic Bubble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Plastic Bubble cosplay.
Yeah, why Plastic Bubble? Because I've seen a few of your bubble on your head, so I can see that.
Oh, because a lot of my cosplays, I have plastic bubble helmets that are inflated by air systems, and including actually, I'll put on my one that I made for when I do social distancing here.
You have your social distancing bubble. Nice.
Yeah. It actually has it's a battery pack in here.
Yeah.
And I just leave one unplugged and I'm not using it so they don't drain. And actually just put it on like this.
That's brilliant.
That was cool.
Floor and everything.
Do you have funny looks when you're walking around in it?
Well, I do get odd looks, but I have people asking where I get it because they'd rather replace their face mask with something better.
And do you give them the info, or do you give them any info, or do you make them, or do you actually follow through with that?
Well, when I tell them I made it, they're kind of disappointed, because they know that it's kind of a one-off thing.
Mm.
I'm sure you could. I'm sure you could put the instructions on Facebook or Instagram or something, and people will start.
Actually, I put up a couple of things on YouTube and on Instagram and on Facebook. How I make plastic bubble helmets.
It's a great idea for as long as if it goes with your cosplay. I mean, why not?
You've done a Bud Light here cosplays as well, haven't you?
I do, and actually, let me show you what it looks like here.
Oh, right.
Nice.
And the blue planet there actually is a vent, and I can put the blower in there and have air going into the bubble.
Cool. Genius. You're sound like a bit of an engineer, David. What did you do before you retired?
Well, I worked as a clerical worker for AT&T, the phone company here in San Diego, down in San Diego. And
AT&T's like our Vodafone.
And I have I got diagnosed barely 10 years ago with Asperger's syndrome, which explains all the walking dictionary engineering stuff.
Yeah.
It's a good trait to have, really. It proves you're clever.
Yeah, my wife has the same affliction, and she finds that hers affects her where she has a project and she solely focuses on that project for long periods of time, and you can't break her from it. I mean, I have to send her messages every so often to remind her to take lunch breaks, to take just regular herself.
Yeah, it's very easy to get obsessed. That's what Kaylee calls it. Obsessive behaviour. When you get an idea in your head.
Yes.
I play a lot of World of
What other
Warcraft
things do
tonight.
you? What other things do you do, David? You've obviously got your cosplay, which you're very fond of, being at retirement age. We don't normally get that many people in the UK that have retired and are still doing it. I mean, some people do, some people don't. But what else do you do, or what have you been doing?
Well, I've been doing some.
You're
I'm
good.
good now. I've been doing some clowning actually in parades and stuff. Right now, it's kind of on hiatus because of the COVID. And but every year in November, I go to a clown convention. That's always a lot of fun.
Oh,
And
that's good.
I also play a lot of World of Warcraft and stuff. Playing a computer, playing vector graphics, working on web design, stuff like that, just for the fun of it. Keeps me busy.
Is the clown circuit quite big in America?
In some areas, like east of the Mississippi River, it's pretty big still, like in Wisconsin and Florida and those places.
Yeah.
All the classic flipping towns. But here in California, it's kind of gone meh a little bit because not too many people, but there are a lot of them that do the hospital visits, just like a lot of cosplayers do hospital visits.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got some guys over here that do hospital visits and things like that. And there's one of the people that I interviewed last year. He does a very, very good Jack Sparrow from the Pirates of the Caribbean, and he does the hospital visit things. And it's just really, really nice to do when time to people that need it. I mean, I haven't done it because nobody knows what costumes I do, so they normally ask for like your superheroes, your Spider-Mans, your Batmans, that sort of thing. What people know, but not people ask for like things like anime and Japanese culture stuff.
Yeah, I follow Superheroes Cosplay on Facebook, and but what they do though, it would be very emotional for me. So I got to build up for that. But it's very, very fond of what they do. It's very cool, very heartful.
Yeah, we hang out quite a lot in the convention circuit. Paul Brady and Trish and everyone, all part of the superheroes. They do a fantastic job.
Yeah, we've got the superhero groups over here. We've got all sorts of people who just like donate their time and even like their supplies and their effort and their knowledge to people who need it. And it's just a really, really like warm feeling when you get that smile from a person that is like focusing fully on you and asking you for advice. And when you give it, and it's like, oh, I did it. And then a year later, you see them with the full costume or the idea that they've built, and it's nice. That's why I do it, anyways.
So, David, how did you get into cosplay in the first place, and the whole plastic bubble?
Well, I started volunteering at San Diego Comic-Con back in 2007 around.
Yeah.
I was doing daily volunteer at first, and I was waiting in line with someone, and I saw all these people in costumes. I thought they were wearing like ski goggles, but it turned out they were Naruto with the metal headbands on. Yeah. And that's when I started reading Naruto if I could figure out, oh yeah, that's what anime is and cosplay, and that started at the very first.
I've got one.
Yeah. Hidden leaf, Konoha, baby.
Yeah, I'm a Jiraiya cosplayer myself.
Nice. I've done Kankuro a couple times.
Oh yeah.
And Choji.
That's cool. I have quite a place in my heart for Jiraiya because he carries that big scroll on his back when he carries it around. I built one of those big whopping things. It's bigger, about half my height, about 3 foot, and it's probably about a foot and a half in diameter. And what I did is I got people in costume to sign it as either their person or as their character. And I've got some really, really nice signatures and things on it from friends of mine. It's a great memory to have.
Oh, nice.
But yeah. Excuse me.
My Kankuro,
Shut up! Michael, every time I cough, you think I'm sick.
Are you coming down with anything?
Get it from me. I'm about 6,000 miles away.
Fine. Yeah. So, David, obviously you're from the States. There's one thing I need to ask, right? Because my other half lived in Colorado. Is it Colorado? Yeah, Colorado Springs. Yeah. She lived there for a few years, but she never actually answered the question for me. When you're at school, right? do you actually have to learn all the states and their capitals?
Yes, you do. In grade school, they actually I went to a different kind of they call it a gifted program, so I didn't really learn all that. But they do have like a drill, like saying all the capitals and the states, and it's sort of like a little competition. But in I know in civics, like when you have to learn about the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and all those things, and about a bit about the history of the U.S. and how it got started and how the government works a little bit.
Yeah, apparently at the start of the Constitution it says it was our fault. So
we started it.
Apparently we started it. Sorry about that.
That's right. But there are a lot of like cool videos like Khan Academy and others that have those little civics lessons and easy to learn formats. So that's how I actually realized about the different two houses of Congress and all those things. And
yeah, we don't actually learn that much about like proper, almost like the politics of the UK. We don't really learn that much in school. We learn obviously lots of history and lots of geography and things like that. That's what our specialist type of thing. Because we're only a little itty bitty little island compared to you guys. I mean, you're
itty bitty little space.
Yeah. I was talking to a friend who lives in Texas, right? And I was telling him how I had to drive 6 miles to go to a convention. And he says, dude, 6 miles to us is like halfway across the state. You still got another 6 miles to go, 6 hours to go before you get into another state. So there's like Texas, like 4 or 5 times the size of the UK. I just can't fathom it.
Yeah, that's insane.
You can't fathom
about 800 miles. About like I can't think in my head how many kilometers that is. It takes an entire day and night to drive across. There's actually country songs about truckers. They wake up in Texas and they go to sleep in Texas still. It's a long drive. It takes all day.
Wow.
They drive for a solid 12 hours and they're still not out the same state. I mean, we drive for 12 hours. We're halfway across the ocean in 12 hours. I mean, we could drive like probably a third of the way across Europe by then. It's just maddening how big the US actually is compared to like the rest of the world. I mean, you've got some states that are bigger than entire countries, and it's unfathomable.
Well, even San Diego County in Southern California, the county is about as large as the state of Connecticut in the Northeast U.S.
Yeah, so you have cities bigger than states. It's like I don't get it.
Wow.
Yeah, so you mentioned earlier that you've been to San Diego Comic-Con, which like to Brits like me, that's like the absolute holy grail of Comic-Cons. I mean, people want to go there.
It's the goal, the target. Yeah. It's unreachable for us.
It's are you all right there? Somebody's waving. Is your audio good? Okay.
Steve just needs to just like log off quickly and then jump back on. There we go.
Okay. Okay, I'll let
You're good.
Let him go back on. Okay.
You're good. There we
I'm
go.
back.
Oh, good.
Fantastic. We can resume.
All right. So Comic-Con volunteered there. Actually volunteered at San Diego Comic-Con with disabled services, helping people with the wheelchairs and so that they don't have to stand in line for 3 hours in the sun with the different conditions. But I do get to experience a lot of it. The main hall is very crowded. It's probably more crowded than going through the sidewalks of London, and a lot of people bumping into each other. A lot of but just don't wear any big fancy wings if you plan to go around the Comic-Con there, unless you're in the pride areas. But they have it's a pretty good time.
You were talking about that. You were talking about the heat. America is a lot hotter than England. Does the air in your plastic bubble, does that keep you cool?
Actually, it works pretty good. I have the fan like right under my chin, blowing air across my face.
Oh, that's good.
The bubble inflated, and
I
If
could,
I
I
go
could
out
use
in the
that for
sun,
some like,
it starts getting a little hot. If I
mm.
go in the sun,
So,
it gets a little hot. But there are a couple of places where the AC is really good. I'll just take a bubble off and bask in the AC for a little bit before they tell
Mm.
me to move on.
That's something we don't really have in the UK. Is enough buildings with air conditioning. We go into
we
sports
do.
hall and we're like,
We,
oh.
we, Con. We
Mm.
do have air conditioning. It's called opening the window. That's the
Yeah.
best we can do. Only like big like businesses and shopping malls and things like that, and have like proper air conditioning systems. But like individual houses and flats and things like that, they don't.
Mm.
So we have to suffer a bit more.
Mm. Well, at
So
the
we
convention
can't
center in San Diego,
see on.
well, in San Diego, they actually rig a big air conditioning system for Comic Con and for other large events. So you see these big generators and hoses. It almost looks like it's like those movies where they're isolating people or something. They have all this equipment.
That's
So yeah,
awesome.
so San Diego Comic Con over there is it like I think it's like a 4 day long event, isn't it? It runs from like Thursday to Monday.
Yeah, they have what they call preview night Wednesday evening, mostly
Yeah.
for the for some panels and some films, and then they have definitely Thursday through Sunday. And Sunday used to be what they call Kids Day, a lot of the kids panels, and for me it's kind of
Mm.
the fun one because there's a lot more like crafting and a lot more stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Our biggest event that we normally have would be our London event, which is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and that's it. I mean, I've never been to an event that's been more than 2 days long because when I get home at the end of day two, I am dead. I'm done.
Yeah. Well, San Diego usually they have their big day is Saturday. They have their masquerade contests in the evening, costumes and
Yeah.
everything. So Sunday, a lot of people are just kind of dragging around. They might not have costumes on anymore. You're just getting some last shopping for the Funko
Yeah.
Pops and all those things.
Mm.
Yeah. Is there anything you particularly go to buy, or do you collect anything that you buy at Comic Cons?
Well, I got a lot of T-shirts, a few each time, but I don't really collect a lot of stuff because it would just clutter my space and have a lot of collecting dust.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem with me when I've got such a small. I'll suddenly start running out of space for everything. You can see just there. That's my wife's desk, and the rest of the flat is pretty much like that all the time. So we have to clean it practically every day just to keep it in order. So I can't bring more and more junk from Comic Cons back home, unless it's food.
Well, I've had to stop
If it's food,
collecting Funko Pops because I got so many, and they're all in storage now because we were planning on moving, but that's on hold at the moment. Just boxes of Funko Pops, and we'll never get the value for them if we sold them. But I do like to take them out occasionally, just look at them, play with them, and then put them back in. No more.
Well, at my old place, I had a lot of clutter, and so about a year ago, when I was planning on retiring and moving, I called it the Great Tear Down, and I called them surgical strikes, and just clear out areas of my closet and shelves and everything, and I got it down pretty good, and so my room now isn't all crammed full of stuff.
So how many cosplays have
on.
you got, like, just lying around?
I have let's see, I have maybe half a dozen active ones. Like I have Brother Blood from DC Comics from Teen Titans,
Oh,
and right behind me is Lex Luthor from the old cartoon series.
Nice.
Put the autism puzzle piece on there, and right next to it is a Green Lantern, like the Guy Gardner version, the one that doesn't wear a mask. And I have kind of in my closet, you can kind of see a Buzz Lightyear and my old isolator suit. A couple of mad scientists, Mark, and the other thing.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
I had a few others too. I had a few others too, like Doctor Strange, but unfortunately some have had wear and tear damage, and Doctor Strange actually has some not so good memories associated with it, so I recycled it, and I'm going to make a new X-Men uniform.
Ooh.
Which one?
Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme from Marvel Comics.
No, which X-Men?
Yeah, you said you're recycling into an X-Man.
Oh, well, like just one of the uniforms, I'm going to be Hank McCoy in the human form, so I don't have to do the full makeup.
Nice.
Have you got a favourite X-Man or X-Woman or member of the team?
Well, my favorite X-Man is Cyclops, but also Nightcrawler. I like how he can teleport and he's real agile.
Mm.
Yeah, I like Magneto. He's one of my favourites.
Okay.
So I don't know why. I think it was in the film where they broke him out of prison, and he pulled all of the metal out of the guard's body, and then used it as a platform to float off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think at first he pulled all the iron out, and then made little balls and spun them around and really just racked up the place.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was watching a YouTube video earlier of like superheroes that could beat Superman, and Professor Xavier came out as one of them, because obviously Professor Xavier wouldn't go in a fist fight; he would just use his mind to destroy Superman mentally. So there you go. Turn him into a gibbering
vegetable.
Yeah.
Or for the Juggernauts inner helmet, he had an inner one that protected him from mental attacks, and they had the big shell on over it.
Yeah, I was actually thinking you've mentioned Juggernaut. Now, when the original X-Men films came out, Juggernaut was played by a very famous British footballer called Vinnie Jones. He was he's like famous for headbutting people.
He was.
Yeah, he played it great. And then in the new Deadpool, in Deadpool 2, the Juggernaut from that was played by Ryan Reynolds, because he had two parts. He had Deadpool and he had Juggernaut as well. But I still like the Vinnie Jones version.
Yeah.
The bit where he just...
I did find that he was much better portrayed in Deadpool 2, though, in my opinion.
It just kind of depends on who's directing and everything else, and who's available. But,
yeah, this is I kind of forget though about American films, right? Because they always portray the bad guy as British.
Not always.
Not all British. We're not all.
Well, I think it's probably the accent, because to us Americans, a British accent is like in James Bond films. The bad guys are always British, but very sophisticated, and so that's, I guess, it's carried over.
It's the smart British that you've got to watch out for, the smart British.
Yeah, we're not all crumpets and tea. Well, I've been drinking one, so there you go. I don't have no crumpets on me.
How about Americans and British films? Are we portrayed in a certain way, like always playing football and eating hot dogs, or is there more?
Pretty much.
There is a few British films where the Americans are portrayed not in the best of lights, but I think it's just the fact that because it's movies and it's Hollywood, that certain producers and directors have jabs at one another.
Yeah, there's a lot of stereotypes floating around in the media world.
I mean, you'll have the pompous Frenchman, and you'll have the suave Italian, and then you've got the evil Brit
and the over-enthusiastic Japanese tourist.
Yeah, the Japanese tourist that keeps going like that all the time.
Then you got the very mysterious Russian.
Yes, you do, yeah.
This with the sound of a hammered dulcimer in the background.
So what is your favourite movie? What's the number one movie you always go back and watch?
Well, I like the original 3 Star Wars movies, especially The Empire Strikes Back. They have some of the best music soundtracks when they did arrested and everything, and I guess too that was the introduction of the Imperial theme and all those things and all the different little themes for the different characters. And other movies I like, just the fun movies. I'm not into the tearjerkers or rom-coms or any horror movies or anything like that. Just things that are fun to watch and maybe a little inspiration for cosplay once in a while.
Yeah. One of my favourite films, well, one that I have here is called Mean Machine. Now, Mean Machine was a remake of a film called The Longest Yard. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that film.
Isn't Vinnie Jones in Mean Machine?
Vinnie Jones is in Mean Machine, but obviously The Longest Yard, they had it as American football, but because that would translate over here, they turned it into what obviously you guys know as soccer.
Yeah.
To that, and it did work. And I mean, they redid it because The Longest Yard was first, then The Mean Machine came out, and then they redid The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler in it. So the second Longest Yard is a remake of a remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the second one, the Adam Sandler Longest Yard, because he's got like 3 WWE wrestlers in it, and it was great.
One movie I kind of like some of those movies with ensembles too. Like a long time ago, Mad World came out. It has all the classic comedians and stars in it. It's like a frantic road race across America for a treasure, and everybody. It's like I guess it was the incentive for the Great Race, a TV series.
Yeah, I heard about that. Because isn't this what's it called over there where they literally have to drive from the east coast to the west? Isn't it something like the Cannonball Run or something along those lines?
They still call it that, but it's kind of an illegal race, so you don't hear much about it other than a movie that came out in 1978.
Yes, but people still do it, and they try and attempt to get over from one side to the other as quick as possible. And
sometimes they do, but they make there's one person that made a YouTube video, but they got caught by the authorities. Because the YouTube video, they identified their location, and they caught up with them with some Mercedes, I think.
Cool, don't tell people where you are.
Yeah, and don't brag about your car that's one of a kind.
Yeah, you go do that run in a car that's like bright pink with flowers on. Yeah, somebody's going to spot you.
Wacky races.
Wacky races, that's epic. Oh. I'm good. So what's it like living over in California? Because obviously we can't really compare it to over here, because at the moment over here is like dull. I mean, we've got clouds and rain and everything. Yeah.
Well, I have visited London, and San Francisco can be pretty similar. Pretty chilly usually, and some fog once in a while.
Yeah.
Where I live, it's about an hour and a half east of San Francisco in the California Central Valley. So it's hot in the summer. Right now, it's about 90 degrees, about in the high 30s Celsius, and there's a lot of pollen. So that bubble that I made, I actually made the filter on it in case of pollen from me when I'm out walking or shopping.
That's ideal.
And other areas I've been
walking around in your suit. Do you ever get like mistaken for like a bug sprayer or something like that, like a utilities worker?
Well, usually I just had a bubble on with a t-shirt and trousers, but people have wondered about it, but because they know the COVID and the precautions over here, everybody wearing masks supposedly. They just ask me where I get it so they can get one themselves instead of having to wear a muzzle on their face. They can find a bubble instead.
Yeah, I mean that's what me and my half we wear one of those. We have one with like an animated character on it, so it's a little bit more fun to look at. The blue medical ones, we do have some of them just in case we need them, but over here it seems to be pretty relaxed at the moment, especially in my area.
Well, I start work tomorrow, and I've got a face mask that covers the whole, like a shield, a see-through shield like that.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
He secretly works for the mask.
Oh.
I don't. I'm not a cop.
I've heard that things got better over there. Over here, a lot of people, we call them COVID-idiots, because they'll go out and go to these beach parties and everything without masks and everything. I've just packed up like crazy again, so we're shutting down, getting the masks back on. They finally required them in California.
I've been seeing some facts of what Aaron, which is like a female who is like instantly wants to see the manager because something stupid's gone wrong. And it's those types of people who don't wear their masks, and when they're told they have to, they all throw a fit.
Yeah.
It's like
they like to rebel.
Yeah, it's like like your government has said you must wear a mask while you're out in public or in a store, and it's like the stores are just following orders, and it's like they don't want any of it. Over here, we're a bit more okay with it. We're just like, oh, I forgot my mask. Let me go and get it and put it back on.
Well, the Karens, I call them the self-entitled because they figure that if I think of it as the same as someone who's jealous of the kid in the helmet at school, thinking that they get everything easy, but they don't realize that they have all kinds of stuff. But they think they actually produced this card, which looks official, has the eagle on it, but it looks like a cartoon eagle. It's supposedly a mask use card, and it has a fake number
you can print those off. You can print those off easily, and it's like, they're just trying to get around the system. I mean, if it's not going to take you like 2 minutes to just get your mask on, go and do your shopping, done.
And actually, too.
I mean, now that my other half is shopping with me, it's now taking me twice as long to do my shopping.
Yeah.
But me being a guy, I'm straight in. Love
Oh, we got a little glitch there, but the Americans with Disabilities Act actually says that a reasonable accommodation is curbside pickup if you can't wear a mask. But people with asthma and all these breathing problems, they'll make or get bubbles if they need to, or just kind of grin and bear it for the 10 minutes they need to be in a store or a Starbucks.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen some people who have gone into a store with a mask on, but they've actually cut a hole in it to speak, and it's like that's defeating the object of the point. I mean, what's the point in that?
Yeah.
You just completely ruined it.
My wife works in a supermarket, and she sees it all. Loads of people.
Or the nose sticking up like this.
Yeah.
The nose sticking up.
That is literally like walking around with your underpants half out. You know what I mean? It's like if you're going to do that, just walk around with your manhood on show. It's like you've got your pants on, but you're not using them to the point that they need to be used for. You know?
Wow, that was very graphically projected into both of my minds. So.
Maybe they were projecting the old Marcus Welby from the 1960s TV. I think he was a surgeon, and he always had his nose showing.
Sometimes in times like this, you've got to find the funny side. And I do like watching stuff on YouTube and Facebook of people being complete morons.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like genuinely, it's like your IQ actually negative that you're this stupid, or were you just born that way?
Yeah. Somebody drew a graph. They showed the COVID graph in the U.S. how it went up a little bit at first, and it showed like people didn't know naivete, and then it kind of went down, and then it spiked up again, and it showed the sign saying like idiocy.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
It's a bit mad. It's a bit mad. But like I said, you've got to look at the bright side of these sorts of things. I mean, some of these people going out being complete dipsticks. It's an entertainment for us. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's entertainment.
Well, I'm sure I'll see some of it tomorrow at my workplace because I work in a pub.
Did anybody see that one person who went to Walmart with a melon on his head? He drew eye holes and a mouth hole out of a melon. Out of a giant watermelon stuck in his head. Walmart allowed him in. I'm like, what?
Or like watermelon Juggernaut or something there.
Yeah. Some people are just trying to get around the system by doing stupid stuff like that. Oh man, it's just funny.
Well, the good ones are the creative people, like this father in China who actually modified one of those costume spacesuits for a 3-year-old, put an air filter and monitor system in it, and he wore it just like a bubble boy.
That's cool.
That's
Getting back to the cosplay topic, what have you got planned for the near future? Because I presume you're in the same boat that we are, that most conventions are cancelled or postponed. Is there anything you got in the pipelines coming up?
Well, it's possibly, fixing up what I have, and I could make a new Star Wars, like a new Jedi, and even try for one of the big groups like the 501st Legion or Rebel Legion. But that's kind of in the future. I want to lose weight so the costume doesn't. I had one that I made, but the belt kept slipping down off my belly and all these things. But Star Wars or make one of those Imperial scanner crew members that went on the Millennium Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty simple. It doesn't have all details on it. And also possibly make another try at a realistic spacesuit, either from the Apollo mission era or from the new space liner that they have.
Yeah, I do like the whole space thing, because you guys over there, you've recently had the SpaceX launch that Elon Musk did, which was a rousing success for them. If you had the opportunity to actually go into space, would you take them up on it? Would you actually go?
Oh, definitely, especially if I could spacewalk.
If you want to go outside.
Wow,
Yeah.
what a dream, though, hey?
I know.
And actually, last year was the 50th anniversary of the first Apollo 11 mission on the moon. And also this year will be the 45th anniversary of the Apollo-Soyuz test project, where the Apollo and the Soyuz actually met together in space.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you're a bit of a space buff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So do you think that that the whole being on Mars within the next 20 years, do you think that'll happen?
Possibly, but there's one thing is that it's almost that there is atmosphere, but it's very little. So I don't think people would be able to make these little farms in space unless they're under pressurized domes, and they'd still be walking around with spacesuits and everything. But I think they really had to do the radiation shielding, address that, because it's going to be a long way there. It's more than just a few days to get there.
Yeah. Yeah, but it'll be like the moon landings in '69. With Neil Armstrong being the first on the moon, that's his name etched in history for all time. It'll be the same for the first person on Mars as well. They will be famous for all time when that happens.
First batch of farmers, sort of thing.
Yeah. It'll be great to happen. I mean, it's possibility it'll happen in our lifetimes. I mean, I'm thinking it's more going to be like close to the 2050s when somebody actually does do it. So I'm
like 30, 40 years.
60. Yeah, I'll be close to 70 by the time that happens.
Yeah. Well, the thing right now is that the moon missions were a competition against the Soviets. Yeah, but there doesn't seem that much impetus now. It's just more of let's design the best way and get there before maybe another nation, but also in cooperation with other nations.
Yeah. So I presume, due to you being retired, you were there for the moon landing.
Yeah, I was 40 years old when they did that, so I just barely remember it. But I do remember watching on TV about Skylab and about the Apollo Soyuz and the first space shuttle launches and everything. Yeah.
I'll say we obviously don't have like a massive space program over here. We have to do it in conjunction with other people, such as you guys over in the States. I mean, obviously there's a lot of things that can and do go wrong with the space shuttle, especially things like the Apollo 13 mission. I mean, I've watched the film and I've watched a lot of footage of it, and it's probably one of the greatest man-made rescues of all time, and that's hopefully will happen again. But that was just so riveting to watch and to hear about.
Well, the new Starliner capsule that they're going to launch, the Boeing Starliner, I'm sure they've addressed all that, and because going back to capsules makes it easier to heat shield, because the shuttle has had all those tiles, no two were alike, but the capsules they can just put this big heat shield plate on it and have some backups on there, and it worked just fine.
Yeah. I mean, the closest that like the regular human being like me or you would probably get to doing the space is one of those like what they call the parabola flights, where they go up and they come down really quick, and you're in 0G for a few seconds. That would probably be the closest thing I'd get to it. I'd love to do something like that, but I don't like roller coasters, so I don't know how I'd cope.
Yeah, I went on something
I'd
like that
rather
on
be able to see out the
Epcot.
window. Like,
Yeah, you probably have zero G vomit floating around somewhere coming from me.
yeah, and I'd get sick too. You know, I can't stand even being on a boat if it's just bobbing around.
Oh
That's,
dear.
yeah. Ooh. Not good
Yeah.
if you get travel sickness.
Yeah.
I can't stick in a car. Planes and boats I'm fine on. I have my sea legs.
All my kids have been quite sick in the car. It's not good. Not
No.
while I've been driving. Just to clarify, it's always been my
Yeah.
wife who's driving when they're sick in the car.
Mm.
Yep.
No
But
accidents from me.
I will always remember one particular day, and Michael, you'll remember this day as well because we were at Wolverhampton. Me and the wife.
Oh yeah.
My wife had absolutely nothing proper to eat or drink all day. All she'd had was snacks and fizzy drinks.
Oh yeah, she was hyper,
Yeah.
wasn't she?
Yeah, she was absolutely out of her brains on sugar.
Mm.
However, that wasn't the case about maybe half a mile from home, because all of that sugar and all of those drinks ended up in my glove box.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Oh
So
gosh.
yeah, I told her from now on, if she travels in my car, she's either in the front seat or she actually has something proper to eat and not have sugar all day, because that's what caused it.
Mm.
So if she will never ever live that down in a million years, and she's going to watch this. She's going to kill me for it.
I can hear
She
her.
was in the back. Yeah, she was in the back seat. So how it got in my glove box from there, I don't know.
Projectile.
No.
But yeah,
Me,
we were literally this close to home, and she couldn't have waited like 2 more minutes.
Right, going back to
well.
going back to the space subject. Do you
not
think?
vomit.
Do you think there is life out there other than us?
Possibly, and
Yeah.
possibly, but you know, they might be about the same level of advancement as we are, since you know, I don't think they have starships yet that can go in hyperspace, just like, you know, we haven't developed one. And but there probably is life out there. They're finding all these planets that are in the Goldilocks zone and could be just right, or even could be people like Spock, you know, being different based.
Now, wouldn't it be amazing if they cosplayed as well?
Well, they cosplayed as human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're probably already here. They're probably doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people keep saying, and people keep thinking like the whole alien thing. They have like the generic alien look, like the big grey head, big black eyes, that sort of thing.
Mm.
But what's to say that they don't walk on 2 legs? Why? They might not have any legs at all. They might have 6 or 10, or they might not even have a head. Alien life just isn't like a bipedal person-sized life form. It could be anything.
Mm.
I don't think there's life out there. I do.
Well, I sort of actually believe in the creation, how God developed people in His own image, and He could have done that in other worlds because He created the stars and everything and all the planets. So He could have created.
He could have taken one look at us about 100 years ago and thought, "No, I'm going to redo it. I'm going to start again."
Mm.
I know I would.
Well, you think you'd restart? That's probably why COVID's happening at the moment. It's probably got to where it's saying, "No, I'm restarting this. I'm not having it anymore."
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, they thought about that when AIDS and everything came out too. So.
Yeah.
The wonders of the universe.
Yeah.
Well, David, have you got any questions for the viewers watching at home?
Yeah, all 3 of them.
Well, just you out there and cosplay as you like, no matter if you're autistic or not, and don't take the word of bullies or exclusionists, and but rather take the words of people like the cosplay groups, like in the UK and the US. Just take the affirmation, because that's the truth. You know. Everyone can cosplay. There's no need to be screen accurate or absolutely spot on. Just to have fun with it. express your fandom, and just go with it. Don't let anybody let you down.
Word.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that.
It's a good ethos to go by, and also remember that the truth is out there.
Yeah.
It is. Well, David, it's been absolutely brilliant having you on. I said you're only our second international guest on the show, so hopefully this will expand our show a little bit more into international waters. But yeah, guys, thanks very much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure having you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So make sure you all stay safe, all be well together, and we will see you guys in the next video.
And
Toodle!
remember to click on the
Cosplay on.
plastic bubbles on Instagram and stuff.
Yeah, follow David on Plastic Bubble Cosplay.
There we go.
Thanks.
So see you guys. And we're done. There we go.
You froze us first, Steve, but that was down to the internet
that was down to
connection.
technology.
How long have you been retired for?
Actually, about 4 months. I retired in the very end of February. Valentine's Day was the official final day. 22.5 years.
That's perfect for like whatever's happened in the world. The day COVID-19.
Yeah.
Yeah, just in time.
Yeah. Wow, that was lucky.